hashtag shade, as Scott Barnes would say, toasting the edges. Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be doing a video testing the new Scott Barnes products that I got. I recently did a Christmas haul. It was probably the biggest haul I've ever done. And a part of that haul, I did get some Scott Barnes stuff. So I'm going to be reviewing that stuff for you guys today. One of the products is new, and that is the newest eyeshadow palette, the Glamazon palette. So we're going to be testing this baby out, but first we're going to be testing the Sculpting and Contour palette, and this is $58 US. You can only get this at Scott Barnes at his website. You open it up, it comes in this packaging. It's absolutely stunning packaging wise. It is incredible, feels very luxe and high end. You open it up, it has a good sized mirror that has a little saying. It says snatch that face, which is very cute. Have that snatched look. And then you do get 8 shades. They're all matte, I believe. Yep, they're all matte. Different depths and undertones and shades. So we're gonna go ahead and contour and bronze with this palette right here. We do also have some brushes. I have 2 eye brushes that we'll be testing with the palette, and then I have 1 face brush, which is the Scott Barnes number 66. This is the sheer powder sheer, and it's supposed to be a very light, very versatile, very smooth brush. It's supposed to apply your products with a soft hand for sensitive skin, but it's also supposed to apply it to the full pigmentation. It's supposed to just make everything look airbrush and flawless. The way that the bristles are shaped is supposed to help. You can do contour, you can do highlight, you can do powder. We're gonna kind of do all of them. So what I'm gonna do is finish setting my face. I only set under my eyes because if I didn't, then it would already be creased. So I did set my under eyes, but I'm just gonna set the rest of my face, dipping into my Laura Mercier, and see how this feels. The bristles are extremely smooth, and it does feel very light on the skin. I mean, with powder, it's not like gonna change my life because it's powder. Like, you don't really see what it's doing with the powder because it's gonna just blend and set the foundation. But it feels really smooth on the skin. Because it is thinner though, I think I would be more inclined to use it for contour, for highlighting, all that jazz. You could do like sweeping under the eye. Like, it just fits in everywhere, and I do really like the shape of it. I feel like it does make it a very versatile brush. So let's go ahead and test the contour palette. This is inspired by Scott's fine arts background. It is the artist's dream. It has incredible colors carefully positioned for mixing new combinations. It gives the user extreme flexibility to shape and feather even the strongest color contours into a seamless, silky bliss. So basically, the way that this color scheme is placed, it was very strategic for artists to be able to contour many different faces of undertone, of different color, of you can mix and match. And that's what I like about his palettes, like the idea of them. I really like that he's kind of opened the idea of like, you don't have to just use one shade. Like, you can mix your highlights and mix your blushes and mix your contours and to make the perfect shade for you. So I do really like that. So let's try it out with this brush. I'm just gonna go into Diced because it's like a cooler toned contour shade. Oh, it really doesn't kick up a lot of product. That is beautiful. And the brush is doing a really good job at blending it out. Wow, it's definitely a stunning formula, and it's very airbrushed. It has no powder finish. It looks like it's melting into the makeup. And this is cool enough that it's gonna still come off as a contour shade, but it's not like really, really gray, which I like. I'm really liking these. They're very smooth on the skin, very pigmented. They are very blendable, and they like blend into your makeup and just look really, really smooth. I like the different like variety in shades. There's some really warm yellow undertones. There's some really cool undertones, and there's even like one that has, you could probably even use this as blush. Maybe we'll use that as blush today. Yeah, because like, look, it definitely has enough pink in it. It's like very thin, but it also has flex to it, so you can like still, you can get in like smaller places, but you can still blend out. It's not too dense, and I really like that. Okay, before I blend this out a little bit, I'm gonna do nose contour with this as well. When I read the descriptions of the eye brushes that I got, which one of them is number 61, it said in the description that this is one of Scott Barnes' favorite nose contouring brushes. I'm gonna use the same shade on my nose, but use this brush and see how that works. Oh, that is good. Oh, look at like how crisp that is. Wow, and it really picks up the pigment. These are very pigmented bronzers, so you don't need a lot. Oh, I like that. That makes the nose contouring so easy. Everything is blending phenomenally. This brush is really great. And this one was the Eye Fan number 61. What I'm gonna do is take the number 66 brush that I used to contour some of my face with, go back into my Laura Mercier, just a little like tap off all that excess. And just use it to kind of blend out those edges. Use this warmer shade called Sliced and actually bronze. And I'm gonna actually bronze with this brush as well. Let's just see everything it can do. And just kind of, as Scott Barnes would say, toasting the edges. So I like to go over the contour to help kind of blend it in, but I actually go across the forehead a little bit. See how just add a little bit more warmth? I'll go over the contour and bring it into the cheeks. So you're bringing a little bit more color to your face and adding a little bit more warmth. Last but not least with this stunning palette is take this hashtag shade, one of my favorite blush brushes, which is by Real Techniques. I'm just gonna add a little bit to the apples of the cheeks, just a touch, and then focus it more up here. So this, as I mentioned, would be good for fair skin as a blush, but if you had more medium skin, you could pull off this one with more reddish hues and pink undertones, and it would be beautiful on more medium skin tones, like tan skin. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is bake underneath my cheekbones to get that crisp line and beside my nose. I'm gonna use my Patrick Star Ultimate Setting Powder because it is really stunning and I've been just testing it recently. Okay, so let's talk about the Glamazon palette. So this is Scott Barnes' newest eyeshadow palette. It retails for $84 US. The packaging, once again, is absolutely stunning. And this is the actual palette. Again, you get a beautiful sized mirror. It's absolutely stunning. It has a very unique, pretty cool toned set of shades. There's 20 shades that are inspired by the quintessential glitz and glam of the 90s supermodel. Very cool toned with some neutrals. Let's see these brushes. I got the one that I already told you about, which is the Eye Fan, I think it was. I mean, all of his brushes are advertised as very versatile. You can use them for a lot. So this one's very flat. It's good for packing. It's good for like precision. I'm gonna go ahead, take Slip Dress, which is this matte cream shade. And I'm gonna go ahead and pack that all over the lid. Set the eye primer, especially new shadows. I like to just make sure everything is smooth and not sticky so that they'll blend as well as possible. I'm gonna go into Beauty Shot, going in just with a Morphe brush. I'm gonna start a transition shade. What? That is pigmented, but like, look at it, already looks like I blended that out. Is this magical or what? This might be the most flabbergasted I've been at a matte shadow. Like, it's blending out like a dream, but it's still pigmented. I'm gonna take some of this Go See and just help soften that edge a little bit, like place it in the brow bone. It's not a really dark brown, so it's just gonna help soften that edge a little bit more. See how this side looks a little bit more softened than this side? Honestly, these purples are calling my name. I'm gonna go for it. Okay, so I'm gonna go into this dark plummy purple Serving Looks. I'm gonna take this brush here, which is number 63. This is the last brush I have to review. This is called the Eye Winger. It's supposed to be very precise. So I'm gonna take that shade on the end of this brush, pat it on the outer part of the lid, almost looking like a winged eyeliner, like in that shape. Wow, are these ever pigmented? Holy smokes, and like zero fallout. I'm just gonna flip it on its side so that I'm using the end of it to get in the crease. And I'm gonna go to about halfway, and I'm just gonna softly start to buff those edges and see what happens. Holy smokes! This is making my life like so easy. Kind of like reinforce that purple a little bit now that it's blended out. I really want a lot of like depth on the outer lid, so I am building it quite a bit. Okay, yeah, definitely blended out really, really easily. I think the brush obviously helped. Now what we're gonna do is take the 61 again and take the shade Drama, which is that really bright purple, and it's like, holy smokes, pigmented. Really tap off the excess. And let's pat that. The eyeshadows are phenomenal, but I think the brushes are just like absolutely making my life a million times easier as well. So I'm placing that in like the center of the lid and then kind of overlapping a little bit and blending it into that darker purple. And then I'm just gonna soften that edge, pull it in a little bit. Okay, that's the only shade that had a bit of fallout, and it was actually like quite significant. Just be careful, I think, with all the shades. So now we're gonna go with some more fun shades. This shade here on the list looks really incredible. I think it's a duochrome. Ooh, we have to apply that somewhere. Let's go ahead and apply that with our finger to the inner part of the lid. This shade that I'm applying, it's actually coming off quite like almost teal, but it's working really well with that purple. I'm going to take a little bit of that shade that I'm applying with my finger on this brush and see if I can get like a more crisp line. Yeah, it works well with the brush too. Ooh, so pretty. A little bit of fallout, guys, a little bit. This brush I really like for like the sweeping motion. Like, I think I'm gonna like it for highlight. Once I dust this bake off, we're gonna highlight as well. I knew I was gonna be happy with Scott Barnes stuff. I feel like he's very talented. So I think I'm gonna go with plain white tea because it's quite bright and it's like just like that nice bright white champagne-y type shade. And I'm gonna take a smaller brush here. I'm gonna take that dark purple first and tight line. On the same brush, Drama, which is that brighter purple, and place it in the center, kind of mimicking the top. I'm just using this brush to kind of buff those edges a little bit to soften. And then I'm gonna take that brush that I started with some of Beauty Shot and Go See mixed and diffuse it a little bit. And then the last thing that I'm gonna do is take plain white tea again, but this time I'm gonna wet it. I'm gonna pull it into the lower lash line a little bit and up into the upper lid. And then let's use the excess on that brush to get a really crisp brow bone as well. Okay, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do is finish up this look. I'm really, really, really beyond happy with this eyeshadow palette. Obviously need to test the other shades, so I can't speak to that, but I'm really impressed with this. I'm gonna have swatches of both palettes at the end of this video. What I'm gonna do is just go finish up the look and come back and give you my final thoughts. Guys, so I'm back. I completed my makeup and I'm honestly extremely happy with everything I tested from Scott Barnes today. I am absolutely over the moon about the contour palette. I think that they are very smooth and very buttery mattes. Very easy to blend and easy to work with. I love the shade selection. I think it is great for makeup artists who, you know, work on people with very differing skin tones and undertones, but it's also just great, I think, for an individual as well. I think that the shades, you can mix them yourself to get that perfect contour shade, and just, you know, for a more natural contour to a more really intense contour to a bronzer. So I really liked that. I was even able to use one as a blush and it turned out stunningly. The brush worked well for contour. I actually used it for highlight. It worked beautifully. I think it's a very versatile brush and one I will use often. I absolutely fell in love with the eye brushes. Both were phenomenal and actually they impressed me way more than I thought they would. So I'm really happy with the brushes. They're silky, they're smooth. They blend out everything out like a dream. And they're really great. They are expensive, so you know, it's something you'd have to invest in, but I do think that if it's something you're willing to save for, it's really worth it. And I think the product that impressed me the most out of today is the eyeshadow palette. I am over the moon about these eyeshadows. They are 110% up there with Pat McGrath, Natasha Denona, Charlotte Tilbury, all those high-end luxury brands that we know and love. Their eyeshadows are like some of the best I've worked with. This is just as good, if not better. Blended out like a dream. They were ultra pigmented. I think color scheme wise, everything meshes well together as well. So I really think this is a beautiful palette and one I recommend. Thank you so much for joining me while I test out these Scott Barnes products. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Like this video if you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Thank you.